Well, tough close to the week, but anticipated because the global markets weren't the strongest. So we closed Friday with about 1% kind of a cut. The broader markets, maybe the small cap index in particular, didn't fare as badly. In fact, closer to the start, closer to around 230, the small cap index was just down or flattish, really. It's just the last 1 hour turned adverse for almost everybody in the markets. And the market breadth was testimony to that. More than 1:2 in favor of the decliners. Now let's bring up the Nifty heat map to just show you the extent of correction that happened. Lot of red, very little green. Not too many stocks in the green, which is worth talking about. But if you look at the reds from a Sun Pharma, which had a specific problem, but it was symptomatic of what happened to pharmaceuticals, because you saw Cipla, for example, in the red as well. So a clutch of other names. Dr. Reddy's was down about 1%. Lotus Labs from the broader market was down in trade. So pharmaceuticals took it on the chin. Autos were a divided lot. So Maruti was certainly down in trade. It's not that other autos were down, because there were stocks like Tata Motors and Bajaj Auto, which traded in the green as well. So mixed bag out there. Reliance, the big boy, about 0.74% lower. Adani Enterprises about 1% lower. And HDFC Bank too, not quite in the thick of things today. So that led to the markets do what they did. And the large cap end. Let's get the BSE 500 winners and losers on the screen to just give you a snapshot of what stood out there. So metals clearly did well, and you saw that proof in Hindustan Zinc and some of the others. Some of the auto ancillaries did well. Sona, BLW, Exide, etc. are case in point. Anybody which is potentially a supplier to Tesla had a fairly good run. And Archean Chemicals, symptomatic of what's happening in the chemical space, a lot of these stocks for the last few days have done very well. What didn't do well? There was pain in PB Fintech after a few days. Spark, as I said, 2 days on a trot now on a lower circuit. So Pharma not necessarily doing that well, with Piramal Pharma also being down in trade. And last but not the least, 2 or 3 stocks specifically that we need to mark. Vodafone Idea, big story. Very likely that GQG could participate in the stock, FPO, Fidelity could participate in the stock, ended about 1.5% higher. So really good show. And 2 stocks on which there were key positive brokerage notes. One of them was Entero, the other was Newland Labs, and both of them reacted very, very strongly to that. So they kind of stood out at the broader end of the spectrum for me. So that was the kind of week. Maybe anticipated some more weakness next week because the global markets aren't doing the strongest, but we'll take it, we'll cross the bridge when we get there.